Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Which is peace on Yahweh's Holy Sabbath Day. Welcome to another holy convocation that Yahweh has enjoined unto us here in Stone Mountain, Georgia. Me and Brother Kish was just mentioning some of the rioting that's supposed to be going on, or the fighting that's supposed to be going on in Virginia, I think it is. What you're basically witnessing is the okay has been given basically by the words of the president, and it has brought out all of these things that people have told us, everything is died down, that's old stuff, don't worry about any of that old stuff. But you see that all it takes is a little bit of rhetoric, a little bit of talk, and all of a sudden all of these so-called hidden groups and things like that, all of a sudden they come to the forefront. They're not hiding anymore. Now, they never stop gathering. They never stop meeting. They never stop recruiting. In fact, their numbers were growing. And it takes, something to happen. And then all of a sudden they feel bold enough to come out of the shadows, to come out in the front. And we're going to see these things increasing the more, the closer we get to the redemption of the children of Israel. We're not going to willingly leave this place. Bottom line is, we've put a lot of work into building something that will never be ours. It will never be ours. It's like paying rent in an apartment. You can pay rent there for 20 or 30 years. But all you got to do is be late 1 month, and they ready to, give you those walking papers. And it's not much difference here in owning a house. You can get a house and have a 30-year mortgage, pay faithfully for 25 years, miss 3 of those payments, and they are quick to auction off their house on the courthouse steps. This is a wicked institution, and we've gotten so accustomed to wicked things that we walk side by side with those wicked things, and we won't label or deal with those things for what they are. But Yahweh is about to cause us to make a decision of whether or not we're going to stand on the left or on the right, because there will be no middle walkers to get into that kingdom. But brother, would you read the oracles and entreat the angel that stands at the door to come in and sup with us and us with him, that we may make this a holy convocation by the angel's presence?
1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. But the end of all things is at hand. Be you therefore sober, and watch unto prayer. And above all things have fervent love among yourselves, for love shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man has received the gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of Elohim. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Elohim. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Elohim gives, that Elohim in all things may be glorified through Yahshua the Mashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 29 through chapter 5 and verse 4. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Elohim, whereby you are sealed until the day of redemption. That all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be you kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim for Yahshua's sake has forgiven you. Be you therefore followers of Elohim, as dear children, and walk in love as the Mashiach also have loved us, and has given himself for us an offering and sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becomes saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather giving of thanks. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. Keep your foot when you go to the house of Elohim, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with your mouth, and let not your heart be hasty to utter anything before Elohim. For Elohim is in heaven, and you upon earth. Therefore let your words be few. Exodus chapter 23, verses 20 and 21. Behold, I send an angel before you, to keep you in the way, and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him, and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Revelations chapter 3, verses 20 through 22. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come in to him and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcomes will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I have also overcame, and am sat down with my Father in his throne. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches.
All right. Now, as we get closer to the redemption of the children of Israel and the eventual forced migration out of this country and out of all other countries where our people have been scattered, the day approaches that difficult decisions will have to be made. Being raised in the daughter of Babylon, we have been forced to coexist with hypocritical policies and people. We have done this for so long that this has become the normal and expected thing to do. The problem with this is the Mashiach will not justify the wicked. In Matthew chapter 25, it is written that in the final judgment, the righteous shall be separated from the wicked as a shepherd divides his sheep from the goats. One of our biggest problems is that we will not separate from the wicked, which in turn causes us to justify their deeds. If we continue to justify their deeds, we put ourselves in danger of facing judgment with them. We're going to begin today's sermon in Exodus chapter 23. Exodus chapter 23, and we're going to start with verses 1 through 9. And today's sermon is entitled, The Danger of Justifying the Wicked. The danger of justifying the wicked. Exodus chapter 23, and we're going to start that at verse 1.
You shall not raise a false report. Put not your hand with the wicked, to be an unrighteous witness. You shall not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shall you speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment.
Now, when it says you should not follow a multitude to do evil, what a lot of us end up doing, because we've been raised in this clique-based mentality, is whatever our group agrees with, this is what we do. So if one church says that this is what you do, rather than dealing with the things that are written in the book, we end up doing whatever that group says. And we've already been conditioned by the time we get to having a church life, because we've gone to schools where, you know, part of the thing that they push was the school spirit is about having more love for that school than any other school. So you automatically use that so-called school spirit is the beginning of that clique-based thing. Then you get into so-called higher learning and you start joining, you know, those education gangs that they call fraternities and sororities. So you join one of them education gangs, and then they have all of their little things that they push out. So when the young kids join a gang, you know, people are upset with them. Why are you doing that? Well, they're doing the same thing you're doing. You join one. You slinging books, they slinging rocks. It's pretty much the same thing. They join a gang just like you. Your gang got colors, right? Well, so do they. We can't do those things and then turn around and tell them not to do it, because it's the same thing but on the street level. And then the gang gives them that same sense of camaraderie. When they get ready to do something, they're going to do it together, whether it's right or wrong. When they get ready to go up against another group of people, the other gang members don't say, "What? Did you steal their stuff for real?" Now, bottom line here, look, our gang going against their gang. And the same thing you find, people are now operating like this in a church situation, rather than saying, hey, going to the leadership, did y'all really do this evil to these individuals? No, we're going to back it up because this is the group that we're in. Understand something. Yahweh don't deal with cliques. He has a order of operation that's written in this book. Either you dealing with that or there's a problem. Go ahead.
Exodus chapter 23 and verse 3. Neither shall you countenance a poor man in his cause. If you meet your enemy's ox or his ass going astray, you shall surely bring it back to him again. If you see the ass of him that hates you lying under his burden, and would forbear to help him, you shall surely help with him. You shall not wrest the judgment of your poor in his cause.
Right. Causing judgment to rest is causing judgment to decline. And see, we cause judgment to decline when we want to deal with respective persons. When it comes to this person, we'll say such and such, but when it comes to that person, we won't. There's a certain problem with judgment being able to be done in an effective manner when it comes down to that. And the problem is, some of us can never see any of the things that we do. We can see everything that everybody else does, but we can never see anything that we do. Everything is about somebody else. And if that's the case, you will never end up dealing with this. End up dealing with yourself. Go ahead.
Verse 7. Keep you far from a false matter, and the innocent and righteous slay you not, for I will not justify the wicked. I will
not justify the wicked. We justify the wicked because we still hang out with them. We still go thereby hanging with them, giving other people the belief that what they do is okay. This is how you justify the wicked. See? But a lot of times, you know, we say, well, those are our friends. Well, other people are looking and saying, well, you know, if Eliel is hanging out with them, they must be all right. Then other people are saying, yeah, man, but they just robbed 4 banks and shot 3 people. Now, other people are going to hang around them because they seen Eliel hang around. Now, what kind of situation is that going to get them in if that takes place while they're in those people's presence? You have to ask yourself, how much are you leading other people into issues by justifying the wicked? Go ahead.
And you shall take no gift, for the gift blinds the wise and perverts the words of the righteous.
And the biggest gift that we receive is the gift of acceptance. See, to be accepted, we'll do all manner of things. To be accepted in some kind of group or as a friend or as an acquaintance to somebody, people will do some god-awful things. The things that people are doing on the internet just to get likes is absolutely ridiculous. They put together false things that are not real just so they can get somebody to click a like button. And this is the whole younger generation that's coming behind us. This is what they're accustomed to. Computer smiles. They don't get real smiles. They get computer smiles. So they count how many computer smiles they get. Go ahead.
Also, you shall not oppress a stranger, for you know the heart of a stranger, seeing you were strangers in the land of Egypt.
All right, let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 17. Deuteronomy chapter 17. And let's read verses 1 through 7.
Verse 1. You shall not sacrifice unto Yahweh your Elohim any bullock or sheep wherein is blemish, or any evil favoredness, for that is an abomination unto Yahweh your Elohim.
Now you consider what is written in the New Testament. It says, if you get ready to offer your gift and remember that your brother has aught against you, leave your gift right there. Go fix that situation with your brother, then come and offer your gift. That same thing he just said here. See, we're able to read these things and see the letter of the law, but not see the spirit of the law that was already there from the beginning. It's a blemish sacrifice. That's why he told you stop. Don't offer it. Because you got that issue, and you know your brother got that issue. Why? Because you know what you did. You know you did something to him. If you offer it, and we got that thing where we just, well, just let it, just let some time pass and they'll forget about it. Don't nobody forget what you do to them. Did you forget what somebody did to you? All right then. But we got that thing, we just let it sit for a little while and think it just dissipates into the air. No, man. He should stop. Don't even offer it. Because it's blemish. It's the same thing going on right here. It's a blemish sacrifice. You offered that sacrifice knowing that it was blemish. But see, you hadn't heard that before you came here because all them other people want your money. Since they want your money, they tell you, look, we take blemish money, we can take the money. It can be blood dripping off the money. Just put it right in the basket. Just, matter of fact, dance on your way to bringing the bloody money. No, you keep that bloody money. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 2. If there be found among you, within any of your gates which Yahweh your Elohim gives you, man or woman that has wrought wickedness in the sight of Yahweh your Elohim, in transgressing his covenant, and has gone and served other gods, and worshipped them, either the sun or moon, or any of the host of heaven, which I have not commanded.
Right, and we know that the sun and the moon encompasses the two biggest religions for Christianity is riddled with sun worship. Everything they have is about solstice worship. The Pope shows up, he's got a staff, which is a big sunburst. When he came to Yankee Stadium, they sat him in the middle of the stadium, and when you pan back, you see that he was sitting in a big sunburst. When you deal with what Christmas is, it's the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year. They're worshiping the sun, S-U-N. When they get ready to worship Ashtaroth, or who they call Easter, they end up having their sunrise service. And none of us ask any question. If it's what we in, what we getting, why we need to get up early on that day? They have Easter sunrise service. And people don't understand that they're worshiping the sun, S-U-N, not the sun, S-O-N. You see how slick the devil is? He'll twist them words around on you like it ain't nothing. So they talking about, yeah, we worshiping the sun. Ooh, the sun has risen. Don't understand. Boo-boo, boo-boo, boo-boo. They got you worshiping the sun, S-U-N. See, boy, the devil's slick. He don't care if he got to trick you into worshiping him. He don't care. At the end of the day, if that's what you do, that's what you do. He don't care. Now, the pastors who are leading our people into this, they know what they're doing. They know that they're misleading the people. See, they know that the phallic symbol and all them triangles in which the church was built upon, they know that that's Masonic temple things. They know that those are Mason symbols. So I keep asking other people, why is every last one of them churches built the same, but you can't find any of those building plans in here? They know it's Masonic worship. But see, our problem is we won't ask authoritative figures any question. We'll turn around and get those people all our money and we won't ask them anything. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 17 and verse 4. And it be told you, and you have heard of it, and inquired diligently, and behold, it be true, and the thing certain, that such abomination is wrought in Israel, then shall you bring forth that man or that woman which has committed that wicked thing unto your gates, even that man or that woman, and shall stone them with stones till they die.
Now we know the judgment was taken out of Israel's hands, so the only thing that we do at this point is separate ourselves from them. Go ahead.
At the mouth of 2 witnesses or 3 witnesses shall he that is worthy of death be put to death, but at the mouth of 1 witness he shall not be put to death. The hands of the witness shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterward the hands of all the people. So you shall put the evil away from among you.
The whole part of righteous judgment was about separating yourself from the evil. People get this and start talking about the harshness of the law, not understanding what ended up happening. If that wickedness stays among you, it then poisons the rest of the gathering. See, there are, understand, some of y'all are sitting in seats where it was somebody there before you. I threw him out of here. Because all they was doing was poisoning the rest of the gathering. See, other people, they want to have a gathering as big as possible. If you come in and poison this gathering, I'm going to show you the other side of that door. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 8. If there arise a matter too hard for you in judgment, between blood and blood, between plea and plea, and between stroke and stroke, being matters of controversy within your gates, then shall you arise and get you up into the place which Yahweh your Elohim shall choose. And you shall come unto the priests the Levites, and unto the judge that shall be in those days, and inquire, and they shall show you the sentence of judgment. And you shall do according to the sentence which they of that place which Yahweh shall choose shall show you. And you shall observe to do according to all that they inform you, according to the sentence of the law which they shall teach you, and according to the judgment which they shall tell you, you shall do. You shall not decline from the sentence which they shall show you, to the right hand nor to the left. And the man that will do presumptuously, and will not hearken unto the priest that stands to minister there before Yahweh your Elohim, or unto the judge, even that man shall die. And you shall put away the evil from Israel,
Once again, separating the evil from Israel. And this is set forth in the beginning of the book. But what we have been taught is integration. To be amongst everything and accept everybody. Sanctified means being separated. Our problem is we don't want to be separated, because we still want to hang with the evil. We still want to be cool with the evil, but we just don't want to do all the evil. But we don't want to be completely alienated from the evil. That's a problem. Because this narrow path is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and you're not going to be able to walk inside the narrow path and still kick it with the wicked. Go ahead.
You know, verse 11 is rather interesting. It says, according to the sentence of the law which they shall teach you. So by the time you come to judgment, you should already know what your sentence is going to be, what the outcome should be.
Well, you consider, man, if you got a book that is not only your religious book, but it is also the book where you deal with your civil law as well, then everybody's going over this. It is written every 7 years. You stand up and read the law to all of the people. So we're talking about by the time that a child is born, it says that a man is apt to go to war. He's grown at 20. He's heard that law fully at least 2 times, without not mentioning all the other things in between. We're talking about they've had to stand up and recite these things, go through them every 7 years. So by the time they're 20, they've already seen that twice, not mentioning all the other things. So there is a somewhat of understanding of the law. We know that these people don't want us to understand the law here. They don't even tell us what the law is here. We don't find out until we're in jail. That when we find out we done broke something. And the bottom line, all they want is the money. I got a ticket in one of them little stoplight towns. And the stoplight town, oh boy, they good at the stoplight town. They had a little hill. I wonder if they made the hill. I don't even know the hill. Because by the time you got up to the top of the hill and you were coming down, smoke is sitting right up there in between 2 trees. I was like, good God. So you're going to build up speed as you're coming down. Boom, Smokey got you. I was like, look at that. And I might, boy, it might have been something like a 85 and about that. Boy, he got me good, Jack. Woo-hoo-hoo. Boy, so I already knew what it was. By the time I came down the hill and got to the little straightaway, I was already outside the city. It was a done deal. They had a little courthouse. We don't need me talking to them people. They already, this is how they paying all their bills in that little town. So the dude had fun with my excuse. You know, he told me, tell your excuse again. I liked it. And see, I got there early enough. I had to come back to the guy. I had missed the first little court date. You know, they lock you up for that now. I got there early enough to see them going over all the tapes of everything. And you think the judge and the officer, you think that they on the same team, man. And folks don't understand when you going in, they in the same little fraternity together. They were sitting there watching the tapes of everybody beforehand. And then the judge sit right there and act like he ain't never seen you before. When he called your name. And I'm like, man, you just got through looking at the video of them. So they called my name. It's sir, why you didn't show up for court, and you know, why such and such? I took since 9/11, sir. He said, what you say? I said, since 9/11, there's been a lot of pressure on me. Hey, the dude said, everybody be quiet. I want y'all, everybody hear this. This is what an excuse is right here. Go ahead, start again. Start from the top. But then let me tell you what the white man did. He said, do you have your money? I said, yeah. He said, what do you want? I said, I want not to have points on my license because I'm driving right now. I need this for my job. Pay them. You got the money right here? Yes, sir, I got the money. All right, take the money, drop all of that down, and don't put nothing on his license. He said, now see, that's how you come to court. One don't need me talking, trying to talk out of the payment. They're going to get that money. And I was watching each one of them people try to talk out of the payment, and they'd sit there and listen to you with a straight face. Really? My God, that is peculiar. All right, that'll be $375. Yeah. These folk bought their money. Go ahead, brother.
Deuteronomy chapter 17 and verse 13. And all the people shall hear and fear and do no more presumptuously. When you are come unto the land which Yahweh your Elohim gives you, and shall possess it, and shall dwell therein, and shall say, I will set a king over me, like as all the nations that are about me. You shall in any wise set him king over you, whom Yahweh your Elohim shall choose.
Now, whom Yahweh your Elohim shall choose, and Yahweh is going to choose a certain type of person to rule over you. Go ahead.
One from among your brethren shall
Right. See, this is our problem. We want to integrate and do all of these things. So our people, we like status. So we'll go to Jewish congregations and let these people rule over that people. That ain't your bro. Who that is? What authority does he have? We'll go and vote for Obama. Feel all proud. We got the first black president. Obama told you I ain't black. Y'all black. I'm African. There's a difference. He said, my wife's people are descendants of slaves. I'm not. I ain't never picked no cotton. Y'all them cotton pickers. He let you know he wasn't the same as you. Bottom line is, when you get down into looking into the official declaration documents of this country, they will never let an authentic one of us rule over them. Obama was a smokescreen. He was not one of us. He looked like one of us, but he was an African. There's a reason why when you watch Amistad and Roots, Kunta Kinte, you'll find the people who could prove that they were African were able to be free. They asked what in Roots? They said, Kunta Kinte, you an African Mandingo warrior, right? He said, well, who are them people? He said, man, them people don't know who they are. He was talking about you. When you deal with who the Igbos are in Nigeria, they know they're Hebrews. We had a friend that we went to church with that was Nigerian, and he said point blank, one of his African friends said, man, I like you, but I hate the Hebrews. They know they're Hebrews. Everybody know except us. Go ahead.
One from among your brethren shall you set king over you. You may not set a stranger over you, which is not your brother.
You may not set a stranger over you. Now, if you go to a congregation where a stranger is ruling over you, you have to then ask yourself a question. You have the direction of the children of Israel between the Yehudim and the Gentiles. Which direction is he teaching? Which direction is he teaching you? Does he separate the difference? Say, oh, no. This is not for you. You have to follow this. You people on the other side, y'all don't have to follow this. We ain't never went to no church where we heard that. They teach you one size fits all. And that's not going to work. That's not going to work at all. Go ahead, brother.
That was verse 15.
That was it. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 13. Deuteronomy chapter 13, and we're going to read verses 1 through 18.
If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and gives you a sign or a wonder.
The first thing you have to pay attention to is that a prophet gets his direction from dreams and visions. If we go back to Numbers 12 and what Yahweh said to Miriam, it says, if there be a prophet among you, I will give him his direction in a dream or a vision. That's not what we hear people out here teaching, that anybody who's reading is a prophet. Go ahead.
And the sign or the wonder come to pass, whereof he spake unto you, saying, let us go after other gods, which you have not known, and let us serve them. You shall not hearken unto the words of that prophet, or that dreamer of dreams.
Or that dreamer of dreams. Go ahead.
For Yahweh your Elohim proves you, to know whether you love Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart and with all your soul.
So Yahweh will allow those things to come upon you just so he can prove whether or not you love him or not. See, because our things is it's hard for us to change direction once we done got to going. See, we creatures of habit, and the adversary know this. So all he got to do is get you used to something. Then he gonna see how you gonna operate from there. So Yahweh will let you get it. I want to see if you love Yahweh your Elohim, so he'll let you hear the words of that false prophet, and then see when you hear the truth. Will you change? Consider what Abraham and all them had to go through. You're watching them be raised in their father's house. The father worship idols all the way throughout. Then here it is, Yahweh calls him. Are you able to change direction? After you've gotten accustomed to this idol worship, after you've gotten accustomed to all these things, are you able to then change your direction? Yahweh want to see if you can do that. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 13 and verse 4. You shall walk after Yahweh your Elohim, and fear him, and keep his commandments, and obey his voice, and you shall serve him and cleave unto him.
Right. And a lot of times, you know, people throw this out, not dealing with this. There's no fear in love. He has not called us to fear. What they don't deal with here is the fear that is contained in respect. When you respect something, there's a certain amount of fear that you have for it. And with that fear / respect, there's certain things that you're not going to try. There's a certain amount of fear or respect of the policeman, and he lets you see his power because he got that gun right on his side. And as soon as he say something to you, he put his hand on that gun every time. He lets you know what his power is. Hey, boy! The first thing you do, hand go down. And see, without that respect of Yahweh, then this is what allows people to say, well, we don't really have to do all of that. We don't really have to do all, right? There's a certain amount of fear that's not there, and it shows that they do not respect Yahweh the Elohim. Go ahead.
Verse 5. And that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he has spoken to turn you away from Yahweh Elohim, which brought you out of the land of Egypt and redeemed you out of the house of bondage, to thrust you out of the way which Yahweh Elohim commanded you to walk in. So shall you put the evil away from the midst of you.
Once again, it is constantly about separating from the evil. But we want to hang out with the evil. We want to be cool with the evil people. We want to kick it with the wicked. That's what we want to do. Go ahead.
If your brother, the son of your mother...
Uh-oh, now it's getting interesting now. See? Because the last thing we want to hear about, you know, brother and mother and son and that. Oh, yeah. Don't get it twisted. You got some wicked people in your family. All of us do. You ain't special. All of us had to go through the same thing. And they may like it. See, this is the thing about wicked. It don't mean they mean. They may be sweet at diabetes. I'm talking about they need an insulin shot. They so sweet. But they wicked at the same time. Go ahead.
Or your son, or your daughter, or the wife of your bosom, or your friend, which is as your own soul, entice you secretly, saying, let us go and serve other gods, which you have not known, you nor your fathers.
Right. All they have to do is to try to lead you off the path that Yahweh has you on. It says, even the wife of your own bosom, that is like your own. It says, two join together and become one. That means you got to even go against your own self. That deep. I don't know how you fight yourself. But it is what it is. You can't walk in wickedness just because they do it. That's how there ends up being no intercessor for the house. They say, all right, we going to do this wickedness. All right, baby, well, I'm going to do it with you. No, that's not going to work. You're going to do wickedness by yourself. I'm going to be over here praying for you. Hope he don't kill you. Go ahead.
Verse 7. Namely, of the gods of the people which are round about you, near unto you, or far off from you, from the one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. You shall not consent unto him, nor hearken unto him. Neither shall your eye pity him. Neither shall you spare, neither shall you counsel him.
Conceal him. See, that's what we do. We're going to hide the wickedness. See, we're going to hide the wickedness of our friends. See, we got friendly wickedness. Go ahead.
But you shall surely kill him. Your hand shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all the people.
So you should be the first one to separate from it. See, here go the letter of the law. Then we have the spirit of the law. How you killed them from your presence is separating yourself from them. Yet, even after evil, you look up and folks still hang around the same old evil people. Each time I got kicked out of school, it was about hanging around with some old evil group of people. And the evil people were still up here. I had to go to school in the country for 2 years and wash out of one of them 10 wash pots. I came back up, people were like, man, I thought you were dead. They want to know where you been for 2 years. But my little wicked buddies, they still up here. Enjoying a nice hot bath. Hanging around with the wicked. And I got punished more than the wicked. That's how Yahweh do you. What you doing here? You ain't got no business being here. Now they wicked. That's fine for them. Wait a minute. So Yahweh let the wicked people do it, and you get punished more than them. Okay, he said, no, but they Lucifer's children. That's okay for them. What? You know what? It took a whole bunch for me to figure out, wait a minute. Why every time I do evil, I go to jail? These people been doing evil for I don't know how long. Every time I do it, bam, The whole thing gets shut down. They got to, man, we don't want you to do no wrong at all. And every time you do something, we all go to jail. Take a long time to figure out that Yahweh like, you ain't gonna do this. And I was actually upset because I wanted to prosper in evil. I wanted me a Cadillac with some of them reverse 8 rims on it. Good God almighty, no, boy. Couldn't do it. Yahweh wouldn't let me do it. And I was mad. Then you get older and figure out, oh, that's why you wouldn't let me do that. Right. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 10. And you shall stone him with stones that he die, because he has sought to thrust you away from Yahweh your Elohim, which brought you out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage. And all Israel shall hear and fear, and shall do no more any such wickedness as this is among you.
Right. So they're going to hear and fear once they see the result of those things. But if we still justify those people by hanging out with them, how are the people going to see and fear and say, you know, we shouldn't operate like that? Go ahead.
If you shall hear say in one of your cities, which Yahweh Elohim have given you to dwell there, saying, certain men, the children of Belial, are gone out from among you, and have withdrawn the inhabitants of their city, saying, let us go and serve other gods, which you have not known.
Right. Y'all get those requests?
Just because you so-called into this Judaism, you can't come keep Christmas? What's wrong with a little Christmas? All your family gonna be here.
Yeah, you trying to entice me to come serve other gods. And Santa Claus is definitely a God. He know if you've been good or bad. He can come in your house even with the door locked. Wait a minute now, wait a minute. I got extra locks to keep Pooking them out of here. And you can tell me that this dude can still get in there? We need to call ADT or somebody. We need to figure out, we need to get some Santa Claus alarms or something. I need something on this roof. I need to figure out how this cat keep getting in here. There's something wrong with that. That's a God. He can travel the whole world in one night. Then he got a magical vehicle. I heard of horsepower, but he got reindeer power. That's a God. Then he got little angels. I mean elves. They help us, right? He got little angel helpers. You know, funny little creatures that do whatever he tell them to do. Them angels. Wait a minute, man. That's another God. But see, they make their gods fun.
So it's just for the kids. How you gonna take you gonna deprive your kids of worshiping this good wholesome paganism?
Go ahead, bro.
Verse 14. Then shall you inquire, and make search, and ask diligently, and behold, if it be truth, and the thing certain that such abomination is wrought among you, you shall surely smite the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword, destroying it utterly, and all that is therein, and the cattle thereof with the edge of the sword. And you shall gather all the spoil of it into the midst of the street thereof, and shall burn with fire the city, and all the spoil thereof every whit. For Yahweh your Elohim, and it shall be in heap forever, it shall not be built again. And there shall cleave not of the cursed things to your hand, that Yahweh may turn from the fierceness of his anger, and show you mercy, and have compassion upon you, and multiply you, as he has sworn unto your fathers.
And there shall cleave nothing of the cursed thing to your hand, that Yahweh may turn from the fierceness of his anger. So as long as you got that cursed thing among you, there's a separation between you and your Elohim. Go ahead.
When you shall hearken to the voice of Yahweh Elohim, to keep all his commandments, which I command you this day, to do that which is right in the eyes of Yahweh your Elohim.
All right, let's go to Joshua. Yahshua chapter 7. Joshua chapter 7, and let's read verses 1 through 12. We're going to start with verses 1 through 12.
Verse 1. But the children of Israel committed a trespass in the accursed thing. For Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Yehudah, took of the accursed thing, and the anger of Yahweh was kindled against the children of Israel.
Message, pick up. The children of Israel committed a trespass in the accursed thing. That's all the children of Israel. Yet, keep reading. It breaks it down. For Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Yehudah, took of the accursed thing. Man, that one dude. And the anger of Yahweh was kindled against the children of Israel. He mad at all of them. One guy did it. See? Go ahead.
And Yahshua sent men from Jericho to Ai, which is beside Beth Aven, on the east side of Beth El, and spake unto them, saying, Go up and view the country. And the men went up and viewed Ai. And they returned to Yahshua, and said unto him, Let not all the people go up, but let about 2,000 or 3,000 men go up and smite Ai, and make it not all the people to labor thither, for they are but few.
Right, so this should be an easy fight. We should go up in there and just slap them around, take their stuff, and we'll be back. We'll be back home shortly. Go ahead.
So there went up thither of the people about 3,000 men, and they fled before the men of Ai. And the men of Ai smote of them about 36 men, for they chased them from before the gate even unto Shebarim, and smote them in the going down, whereof the hearts of the people melted and became as water.
Right. That first loss is always pretty traumatic for you. But this was supposed to be a real easy battle, and now 36 people are now dead. And they say ain't no need us even sending everybody. Just send 3,000, go up there, take care of that business. Now 36 people dead. Go ahead.
And Yahshua rent his clothes, and fell to the earth upon his face before the ark of Yahweh until the eventide.
Now he fell before his face, I fell upon his face before the ark of Yahweh until eventide. Now he been on his face for a long time. All right, go ahead.
He and the elders of Israel, and put dust upon their heads.
Mm-hmm.
And Yahshua said, Alas, O Adonai Yahweh, wherefore have you at all brought this people over Jordan, to deliver us into the hand of the Amorites, to destroy us? Would to Elohim we had been content and dwelt on the other side Jordan.
Now they're questioning the whole direction that Yahweh has given them, because they have suffered loss. Now they saying, "What, Yahweh? We didn't have to go this far. We could have just stayed over on the other side." Go ahead.
O Adonai, what shall I say when Israel turns their backs before their enemies? For the Canaanites and all the inhabitants of the land shall hear of it, and shall environ us round, and cut off our name from the earth. And what will you do unto your great name? And Yahweh said unto Yahshua, Get you up. Wherefore lieth you thus upon your face?
So why you on your face? What you laying down for? See, there's some parts where we're praying, well, we're supposed to be taking care of some business. So at this point, he been laying down there for quite some time. Y'all, what you still on your face for? See, there's some business you need to be taking care of. Go ahead.
Yeshua has sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant which I commanded them. For they have even taken of the accursed thing, and have also stolen and disassembled also, and they have put it even among their own stuff.
Right. So at this point, being that he was trained under Moshe, it says, and when all the other people went to their tent, Yahshua was the one who was constantly going with Moshe. So he has more experience being around the Spirit than any other person in the camp, and he ain't the oldest. Because see, we like to just pick the next oldest dude and think that Yahweh just gonna get the next old man to direct us. That's not how Yahweh works. he was training this boy while he was working for the old man. So he has more experience than any of them, even though he's younger than them. They let a whole generation die off. And he was still dealing with all of these things, learning. So he has serious experience in dealing with these things. He always said, what you laying on your face for? Why don't you know why the Spirit has left you? See, there's certain things when you start seeing certain things happen in your life, you need to start looking around. Hey, now what something done happened here? What has changed? You need to start taking inventory. Something has changed. Go ahead.
Verse 12. Therefore the children of Israel could not stand before their enemies.
Right. This is why they could not stand before their enemies. Bottom line, sin separates you from the power of Yahweh. So this direction that Yahweh is leading, that spirit got to step out the way. Say, no. I can't walk with y'all with that right there. Y'all gonna have to go take care of it. Go ahead.
But turned their backs before their enemies, because they were cursed.
You became a curse like the thing you were hiding. See? Now it's no more that the thing is cursed. You curse. You curse with the thing. Go ahead.
Neither will I be with you anymore, except you destroy the accursed thing, accursed from among you.
See? So now you are severely separated from Yahweh, your Elohim, as long as that cursed thing is among you. Go ahead.
Verse 13. Up, sanctify the people, and say, sanctify yourselves against tomorrow. For thus said Yahweh Elohim of Israel, there is an accursed thing in the midst of you, O Israel. You cannot stand before your enemies until you take away the accursed thing from among you.
You have no power with Yahweh your Elohim as long as this thing is among you. Go ahead.
In the morning, therefore, you shall be brought according to your tribes. And it shall be that the tribe which Yahweh takes shall come according to the families thereof. And the family which Yahweh shall take shall come by households. And the household which Yahweh shall take shall come man by man. And it shall be that he that is taken with the accursed thing shall be burnt with fire, he and all that he has, because he has transgressed the covenant of Yahweh, and because he has wrought folly in Israel. So Yahshua rose up early in the morning, and brought Israel by their tribes, and the tribe of Yehudah was taken. And he brought the family of Yehudah, and he took the family of the Zarhites, and he brought the family of the Zarhites man by man. And Zabdi was taken, and he brought his household man by man. And Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Yehudah, was taken. And Yahshua said unto Achan, my son, give, I pray you, glory to Yahweh Elohim of Israel, and make confession unto him, and tell me now what you have done. Hide it not from me. And Achan answered Yahshua and said, indeed I have sinned against Yahweh Elohim of Israel, and thus have I done.
Now, consider, now they're talking to Achan. It says in the beginning, they were going out to this battle. He saw something, he took it, he stole it, he hid it. But 36 other people died, not the dude that did it. This is the part that people keep missing. See, the guy who brought the accursed thing is still living. 36 other people dead. Now, as long as you continue to let him and the accursed thing stay there, it's going to be nothing but problems. There's some of y'all that wouldn't even be able to sit in here had we not thrown some other people out of here, because they were just that much a problem. Go ahead.
Verse 21, Yahshua chapter 7 and verse 21. When I saw among the spoils of a goodly Babylonish garment, and 200 shekels of silver, and a wedge of gold of 50 shekels weight, then I coveted them.
I coveted them.
And took them.
And took them. See, coveting is the first step of the sin. See, coveting is desiring something that you should not desire. Before anybody steals something, they first covet it. You first had a desire for something that did not belong to you. Then you stole. So a lot of people say when they steal something, they be like, I created, I committed a sin. No, you actually did too. See, coveting should have been that speed bump that stopped you when you start thinking about that you desiring something that belonged to somebody else. Or you desiring something that Yahweh has said you shall not have. Then you went past the coveting and went and stole it. So you at step number 2 by the time you steal it. Go ahead.
And behold, there hid in the earth in the midst of my tent, and the silver under it. So Yahshua sent messengers, and they ran onto the tent. And behold, it was hid in his tent, and the silver under it.
Now, it's in his tent. But 30-something other people died. See, now you understand that whole thing where it says, remove the evil from among you. See, it's other people that end up being damaged by the evil that you allow to be present. See, it won't hurt us per se, personally. What it's doing is causing trouble in the whole place. Go ahead.
And they took them out of the midst of the tent, and brought them on to Yahshua, and unto all the children of Israel, and laid them out before Yahweh. And Yahshua and all Israel with him took Achan the son of Zerah, and the silver, and the garment, and the wedge of gold, and his sons, and his daughters, and his oxen, and his asses, and his sheep, and his tent, and all that he had, and they brought them onto the valley of Achor. And Yahshua said, Why have you troubled us? Yahweh shall trouble you this day. And all Israel stoned him with stones, and burnt them with fire, after they had stoned them with stones. And they raised over him a great heap of stones unto this day. So Yahweh turned from the fierceness of his anger, whereof the name of that place was called the Valley of Achor unto this day.
And we see how of a serious thing that you end up causing judgment to come to your house in taking of this accursed thing. Let's go to Judges chapter 20. And when you start to examine those things about the stoning to death, you have to understand what that law was carved in. That law was carved into the stone. So then when they get punished, they're getting punished with the stone. You mean the stone that the law was carved in? Right. Always poetic. Sometimes you just don't really get the poetry, especially when a rock flying at your head. Judges chapter 20, and let's read verses 1 through 17.
Then all the children of Israel went out, and the congregation was gathered together as one man, from Dan even to Beersheba, with the land of Gilead, unto the Lord, unto Yahweh in Mizpah. And the chief of all the people, even of all the tribes of Israel, presented themselves in the assembly of the people of Elohim, 400,000 footmen that drew sword.
400,000 footmen that drew sword. Go ahead.
Now the children of Benjamin heard that the children of Israel were gone up to Mizpah. Then said the children of Israel, Tell us, how was this wickedness? And the Levite, the husband of the woman that was slain, answered and said, I came into Gibeah, that belongs to Benjamin, I and my concubine, to lodge.
So he's explaining this situation. Go ahead.
And the men of Gibeah rose against me, and beset the house round about upon me by night, and thought to have slain me, and my concubine have they forced that she is dead.
So they have raped the concubine until she is dead. Go ahead.
And I took my concubine, and cut her in pieces, and sent her throughout all the country of the inheritance of Israel, for they have committed lewdness and folly in Israel.
So that each and every last one of them will understand what has been done. Go ahead.
Behold, you are all children of Israel. Give here your advice and counsel. And all the people arose as one man, saying, We will not any of us go to his tent, neither will we any of us turn into his house. But now this shall be the thing which we will do to Gibeah. We will go up by lot against it. And we will take 10 men of 100 throughout all the tribes of Israel, and 100 of 1,000. and 8,000 out of 10,000, to fetch victual for the people, that they may do, when they come to Gibeah of Benjamin, according to all the folly that they have wrought in Israel. So all the men of Israel were gathered against the city, knit together as one man. And the tribes of Israel sent men through all the tribe of Benjamin, saying, what wickedness is this that is done among you?
Now, this wickedness was done among you in your place. All right? So now the rulers of this place need to deal with that evil that was done. Go ahead.
Now therefore, deliver us the men, the children of Belial, which are in Gibeah, that we may put them to death, and put away evil from Israel.
That we may put away evil from Israel. Because when you do those things, it then causes the land to sin. When you read about what the shedding of blood, it takes blood to make an atonement for sin. So, and what blood does it have to be? The blood of him that caused the defiled thing to happen. So when people read about this Armageddon, this great war that has to be fought, they're not understanding that it's this same Old Testament law that Yahshua is dealing with. He said he's going to invite all the nations. Why do you think he's doing that? The blood of all the people who have defiled the earth, those are the ones whose blood has to be shed to put the earth back in its rightful place. See, a man without law is beast. So them same man beasts that caused all this destruction on the earth, those are the ones who have to shed their blood so that the earth can be cleansed. It's the same thing all over again. Yahweh say, I change not. Go ahead.
But the children of Benjamin would not hearken to the voice of their brethren, the children of Israel. Verse 14. But the children of Benjamin gathered themselves together out of the cities unto Gibeah, to go out to battle against the children of Israel.
Now, we're talking about one group of men who have raped a woman to death. Then the tribe of Benjamin decide that they're going to protect the rapists. So now, the battle jumps off because they want to hide the wicked. Now, all they had to do was deliver up the men who did the evil deed. Go ahead.
And the children of Benjamin were numbered at that time out of the cities 26,000 men that drew sword, beside the inhabitants of Gibeah, which were numbered 700 chosen men.
All right, and the children of Benjamin were numbered at that time out of the cities 26,000 men. Go ahead.
Among all this people, there were 700 chosen men left-handed. Everyone could sling stones at an hair's breadth and not miss. And the men of Israel, beside Benjamin, were numbered 400,000 men that drew sword. All these were men of war.
So, when you go through this, you're talking about 26,000 against 400,000. But the Benjamites were very wild men of war. Jump to verse 46, so we can see all of the what this ended up doing, and them justifying the wicked by not delivering them. Now they have put the entire tribe in jeopardy. Verse 46.
So that all which fell that day of Benjamin were 25,000 men that drew the sword. All these were men of valor. But 600 men were turned and fled to the wilderness unto the rock Ramon, and abode in the rock Ramon for 4 months.
Their whole tribe was almost wiped out because they decided that they were going to protect the wicked. And we think we're doing the wicked some kind of justice until that judgment comes upon us. Now, they are carrying the weight as if they did it. See, you are only as righteous as the wickedness you justify. So now they are suffering the death that the men who did the evil were supposed to face. And that's what we do. We want to protect the wicked. Here's the thing. They ain't never going to protect you. The wicked going to leave you where you stand. But we talk, oh, they my friends. Right. They ain't going to do that for you. First sign of trouble, the wicked will run over you and getting up out of there. All you're going to hear is the bumps of you up under their tire. Whatever. You don't even know what ran over you. They the first ones to leave you where you standing. But here it is. We want to try and protect them. Go ahead.
And the men of Israel turned again upon the children of Benjamin, and smote them with the edge of the sword, as well the men of every city, as the beasts, and all that came to hand. Also they set on fire all the cities that they came to.
Right. So then you see, trying to protect the wicked, they ended up almost completely annihilated. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 33. And it's no different. Something happens in our house. What happened? Yahweh gathered them angels together and said, go talk to the leader of that house. Now, don't mean that he the one that did it. Means he the one that Yahweh is holding responsible for it to go and take care of that business. I need you to go get that evil out of there. Ezekiel 33, and let's read verses 1 through 20.
Again the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of your people, and say unto them, When I bring the sword upon a land, if the people of the land take a man of their coast, and set him for their watchman, if when he sees the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people, then whosoever hears the sound of the trumpet and takes not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. He heard the sound of the trumpet and took not warning, his blood shall be upon him. But he that takes warning shall deliver his soul.
Right. So you have a man that then warns the people. But see, we customarily, we don't like people that warn us. See, we want to hear a bunch of niceties. So that's what we hear when we turn on the television and we listen to the televangelists. All they tell us is how rich God wants us to be and how God not mad at you. We hear nothing but nice things, how we gonna be conquerors, how we gonna do all of this stuff. The people that actually warn us, the real watchmen, we get angry with them because they saying things that we don't want to hear. Go ahead.
Verse 6. But if the watchmen see the sword come, and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned, if the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his lawlessness. But his blood will I require at the watchman's hand.
He will require the blood at the watchman's hand because it was the watchman's job to warn them. Now, why would a watchman not warn the people? Because he want to be accepted amongst the people. Go ahead.
So you, O son of man, I have set you a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore you shall hear the word at my mouth and warn them from me.
Right. Hear the word at my mouth, but then you warn them. Go ahead.
When I say unto the wicked, O wicked man, you shall surely die. If you does not speak to warn the wicked from his way, that wicked man shall die in his lawlessness, but his blood will I require at your hand.
Right. And if you are the only person in a situation that knows the word, you the watchman in that situation. You decide that you're not going to deal with it. They suffer the judgment. How much of that is laying on your hand? Go ahead.
Nevertheless, if you warn the wicked of his way to turn from it, if he do not turn from his way, he shall die in his lawlessness.
He's still going to die in his lawlessness, but
you have delivered your soul.
There you go. See, it's not your job to make people turn from their ways. That's not your job. That's Yahweh's job. All you do is speak the word. You are not responsible whether or not somebody actually changes their life or not. And your salvation is not based upon whether they change their life. My salvation ain't based on whether or not you do what you're supposed to do. My salvation is based on whether or not I tell you what you're supposed to do. What you do with it is up to you. Go ahead.
Therefore, O you son of man, Speak unto the house of Israel. Thus you speak, saying, if our transgressions and our sins be upon us, and we pine away in them, how should we then live? Say unto them, as I live, said the Adonai Yahweh, I have no pleasure in the death of the wicked, but that the wicked turn from his way and live. Turn you from your evil ways. For why will you die, O house of Israel? Therefore, you son of man, say unto the children of your people, the righteousness of the righteous shall not deliver him in the day of his transgression. As for the wickedness of the wicked, he shall not fall thereby in the day that he turns from his wickedness. Neither shall the righteous be able to live for his righteousness in the day that he sins.
Right. So he could have been doing righteousness for 10 years, but then does evil last night. He just erased all the righteousness that was done before and started over. But we like to say, well, you know, I add up all my evil and I add up all my good, and if the good outweigh the evil, then I'm okay. See, that lie that we done heard. Here's the problem. Once you did the evil, you erased all the good, so all your stuff is already lopsided right there. See, we think the good stay on the scale. No. You burnt up the good when you did the wicked. Ain't nothing else on that other side of the scale. You just started over. That's why we got to constantly keep working, because you don't know how many times you done burnt up the stuff that's on the other side of the scale. And if you listen to the way man tell you, you think you constantly got stuff still on the other side of that scale. Because see, I did some good deeds, yep, and every time you did a bad one, you set that other one on fire. Yeah, but I did good, such and such. Yeah, and how long did it take you to do evil right after that? Oh, about 22 minutes. Right, well, you burnt that up. Keep wondering why you still at the starting line. Everybody else on the other side of the, you know, it's like track and field. You know what I'm saying? Pow! You go, you take off running, and everybody else on the other side of the thing. Man, how they get all the way over there? Because you keep starting over. That's how they getting all the way over there. They ain't running no faster than you. You just running fast. Da-da-da-da, up, back up. Da-da-da-da, up, back up. Da-da-da. How many times you think you can keep doing that? You might be actually faster than them, but they not keep starting over though. Go ahead.
Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 13. When I shall say to the righteous that he shall surely live, if he trust to his own righteousness and commit lawlessness, all his righteousness shall not be remembered.
Right. So y'all won't be saying, well, Priest Sock said that your stuff burn up. No, just back it up. Read that again. Come on.
When I shall say to the righteous that he shall surely live, if he trust his own righteousness.
So he believe I done did enough good. You know, I should be able to do a little bit of evil. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And commit lawlessness, all his righteousness shall not be remembered.
There you go.
But for his lawlessness that he has committed, he shall die for it.
Right. He burnt up all the good. So that you won't be walking away from him talking about, well, the priest said. No. You can say, the priest read. Don't say the priest said. See? So then you're going to sound like them Sunday people. Well, my pastor said. No, Your statement need to be, the priest read. Because it's not coming out of my mouth. Go ahead.
Again, when I say unto the wicked, you shall surely die, if he turn from his sin and do that which is lawful and right, if the wicked restore the pledge.
Right. Now see, this is how we justify the wicked. We don't want to deal with any of the wickedness that's been done. We just want to let it, well, you know, it did the wickedness, that was so long ago. It says, if the wicked restore the pledge. See? Go ahead.
Give again that he had robbed. Walk in the statutes of life. Without committing lawlessness. He shall surely live. He shall not die.
Now, this is if the wicked. Now, this is talking about a wicked person. They have done wicked for many years. But now they turn from that wickedness and begin to restore. Now, they're on the side of righteousness. This is how salvation is going to be confusing to a lot of people. See, there's going to be a whole lot of people that you might have looked upon and said, man, they have been in this word for a long time. And then they'd be standing on the outside of the kingdom trying to figure out why they ain't getting in. Then there's somebody else that you be like, look at them, they just been so evil, they done done so much evil. And then they standing inside the kingdom, and then one of your little buddies is standing outside. What happened? Right. They stopped from their wickedness and started doing righteous. The other person trusted in their many years of righteousness and started doing wickedness. And they're standing on the outside looking in. Go ahead.
Verse 16. None of his sins that he has committed shall be mentioned unto him. He has done that which is lawful and right. He shall surely live.
None of his sins that he has done shall be mentioned. I'm going to tell you what that is. That's like that thing when you go to court and they say that this evidence is not able to be brought into the courtroom. Say, Your Honor, Kish shot up this house. No, you're not able to talk about that. What? That evidence can't be brought. See, when you got Yahshua as a lawyer, there's certain things that's not admissible in court. But he said, but Your Honor, I was standing there when he shot, he reloaded, he put more bullets in there. Can't mention it. What? Right. That's what you want. Because if you go on your behalf for judgment, you ain't going to win. Ain't none of us going to win. See, them public pretenders, they don't work for us. They work for other people. But if you get a public pretender, you might well just go ahead and start figuring out how long you're going to jail. But when we got Yahshua, we can go to court. Because there's certain things he going to take care of. No, can't mention that. He judged himself. He said, judge yourself that you be not judged. So he said, Your Honor, he did this. Yeah, but then he judged himself for that. Not admissible in court. Can't bring that up. Well, Your Honor, she did this. Yeah, she did. Yeah, that was some really foul stuff. But you know what? She judged herself for that. And she stopped doing that. Not admissible. Can't bring it in court. Next. Now, your trial is automatically looking better. Because there's certain things that they can't even bring up. All the stuff that they were going to use to defame your character, Yahshua is saying, you can't bring it up. It shall not be mentioned. Go ahead.
Verse 17. Yet the children of your people say, the way of the Adonai is not equal. But as for them, their way is not equal. When the righteousness turns from his righteousness and commits lawlessness, he shall even die thereby. But if the wicked turn from his wickedness and do that which is lawful and right, he shall live thereby. Yet you say, the way of the Adonai is not equal. O you house of Israel, I will judge you everyone after his ways.
I will judge you everyone after his ways. And let me tell you something. There's a lot of things that we can hide from people. But you can't hide your own ways from Yahweh. So we can pretend, because a lot of us, we got them funny mirrors at the house. Them funny mirrors that make you look real good when you look at them. I mean, you look at yourself, boy, you look good in that funny mirror. They got one of them funny mirrors that make round people look skinny. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Boy, you see yourself, boy, you look good in that funny mirror. Yeah, well, Yahweh don't have no funny mirrors. He see you exactly as you are. See? I used to play in the mirror, you know what I'm saying? When you go down, I think all brothers done did that. Where you make yourself look big. You look real built when you slowly come up in the mirror. Look like you got a lot of muscles until you stand all the way up. Then the rest of you just show up. Yeah. Y'all ain't never done that? I was the only one. Ezekiel chapter 13. Ezekiel 13, let's read verses 1 through 16. Yeah, that mirror fool you.
Ezekiel chapter 13 and verse 1. And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy against the prophets of Israel that prophesy, and say you unto them that prophesy out of their own hearts, hear you the word of Yahweh.
Right. They prophesy out of their own heart. They were not called to be prophets. See? Go ahead.
Thus said the Adonai Elohim, woe unto the foolish prophets that follow their own spirit and have seen nothing.
They have seen nothing, but they call themselves prophets. Go ahead.
O Israel, your prophets are like the foxes in the deserts. You have not gone up into the gaps, neither made up the hedge for the house of Israel to stand in the battle in the day of Yahweh. They have seen vanity and lying divination, saying, Yahweh says, and Yahweh hath not sent them.
Yahweh said, I ain't sent these people. Who they prophesying from? And you know, that's what we love to see. Them prophets for hire. See? We love to see that kind of stuff. You see that on TV all the time. The prophets come and lay hands on people and they pass out. They put their hands on people they so-called can't walk, and then they jump up and run all around the room. Go ahead.
And they have made others to hope that they would confirm the word. Have you not seen a vain vision? And have you not spoken a lying divination? Or as you say, Yahweh says it, albeit I have not spoken.
Right. I talked to the Lord last night. Right. He ain't tell you to keep your Sabbath day? He ain't tell you that even when you were talking to him? Matter of fact, he ain't tell you his name while y'all were talking. Go ahead.
Therefore thus said the Adonai Elohim, because you have spoken vanity and seen lies, therefore, behold, I am against you, said the Adonai Elohim. All mine hand shall be upon the prophets that see vanity, and that divine lies. They shall not be in the assembly of my people, neither shall they be written in the writing of the house of Israel.
Right, they shall not be in the assembly of my people. See, some of these, there are various congregations for a reason, because their spirit does not match with the spirit that's leading that congregation. Go ahead.
Neither shall they enter into the land of Israel, and you shall know that I am the Adonai Yahweh. Because, even because they have seduced my people, saying, peace, and there was no peace.
See, the people are actually seduced by the thought of peace. They say, why y'all listen to that teacher and he says all those mean things? Why y'all listening to him? It's peace. God is about love. Right? Love them right to their destruction, because they're not changing nothing. They're not getting ready for anything. They just happen as a dumb sheep being led to the slaughter till they find out he about to die and lay on somebody's table. Go ahead.
And one built up a wall, and lo, others daubed it with untempered mortar.
Right. That untempered mortar, you got the false wall, but then you got this untempered mortar. This is all the people that's trying to make the foul wall look righteous. This is us trying to hold up something. We're going to patch it up. See? Go ahead.
Say unto them which daubed it with untempered mortar.
Now, not the wicked people that built the wall, the wicked people who did the things. Say to the people who tried to patch it up. Go ahead.
That it shall fall. There shall be an overflowing shower, and you, O great hailstones, shall fall, and a stormy wind shall rend it. Lo, when the wall is fallen, shall it not be said unto you, where's the daubing wherewith you have daubed it? Therefore thus said the Adonai Yahweh, I will even rend it with a stormy wind in my fury, and there shall be an overflowing shower in mine anger, and great hailstones in my fury to consume it.
Right. So all that you've done to try to hold up this wickedness and try to patch it up, Yahweh gonna knock it down eventually anyway. Go ahead.
So will I break down the wall that you have daubed with untempered mortar, and bring it down to the ground, so that the foundation thereof shall be discovered.
Right. The foundation shall be discovered. What's the foundation? The wickedness on which it was built. All the foul stuff you did to have this thing built, you tried to hide it by putting all the untempered mortar on it. Yahweh is going to discover it. Go ahead.
And it shall fall, and you shall be consumed in the midst thereof, and you shall know that I am Yahweh. Thus will I accomplish my anger upon the wall, and upon them that have daubed it with untempered mortar, and will say unto you, the wall is no more, neither they that daubed it. To wit, the prophets of Israel, which prophesy concerning Jerusalem, and which see visions of peace for her, and there is no peace, said the Adonai Elohim. Right.
And this is us trying to justify the wicked. Now in Jeremiah 23, it says, Yahweh says, I haven't spoken to these prophets, yet they have spoken. And we have these twisted church leaders who are out on the corner teaching all the people that whoever reads has become a prophet. So then you got other brothers walking around saying, I can't have my head covered because I read in the New Testament, you shall not prophesy with your head covered. So they got whoever's reading is a prophet. So now your kids prophets now, because they know how to read. Now the wicked dudes who sell drugs on the corner down there, they prophets too, because they know how to read. Yahweh just said, I ain't spoke to them. How have they become prophets? See, this is what happens when we start to listen to this twisted doctrine that just floats about, and that doctrine floats about on the internet. I will say, these people have their internet game strong now. Before you get to us, it's about 20 pages of they mess. So when people start searching Hebrew Israelite teachings and stuff like that, you're going to run into all them, you can't wear no head covering brothers on the corner saying all this mess. You're going to run into all them first. I will give it to them. As far as their internet game, oh, they got themselves spread all the way out. But we're gonna get into that, and we're gonna do something about that. Revelation chapter 2. Because they slaying our people with this false doctrine. Revelation chapter 2. And let's read verses 1 through 7.
Unto the angel of the church of Ephesus write, These things says he that holds the 7 stars in his right hand, who walks in the midst of the 7 golden candlesticks.
Now, unto the angel of the church of Ephesus. So you understand, a lot of times you hear people talking about, we all need to come together. No, we all don't have the same spirit. The word says, how can 2 walk together unless they be agreed? See, there definitely needs to be other congregations, or else some of them twisted people are going to be sitting right beside you, bothering the mess out of you. No. That's why I don't go around recruiting people, especially people that already belong to a congregation. No, if that spirit is comfortable for you there, that's where you need to be. See, people who want to cuss people out on the corner, they're not going to feel comfortable here. Because see, they're going to come here and I'm going to tell them, no, you can't cuss people out on the corner. Then they're going to be mad at me.
Well, why can't I cuss people out on the corner? With the place where I was at, they told me, they gave me a bullhorn and everything. All I got to do is press the button. Go to hell.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So then they mad at me that I won't get them new batteries for their brand new bullhorn that they done purchased. And even carved in, go to hell on the side of their little bullhorn. No, you can't do that here. You're not going to do that here. So you're not going to feel comfortable. Your spirit is not going to agree with the spirit that we have here. See? So I had to run them people out of here. See? When a brother show up with a bullhorn in his hand, I already know, all right, we're going to run him out of here. Because he ready to cut some people out on the corner. That ain't going to work up in here. See? So you find the angel of the church of Ephesus. So they being led by a certain spirit. See? So that may be the spirit of how those people are being directed to do whatever they do. When you read in this book, you also find things where it says to the General Assembly and to the church of the firstborn. See, I ain't never aimed to be no General Assembly kind of person. You let them General Assembly people go somewhere else. Because that ain't going to work. Go ahead.
Verse 2. I know your works, and your labor, and your patience, and how you cannot bear them which are evil. And you have tried them which say they are apostles and are not, and have found them liars, and have borne, and have patience, and for my name's sake have labored, and have not fainted. Nevertheless, I have somewhat against you, because you have left your first love. Remember therefore from whence you are fallen, and repent, and do the first works, or else I will come on to you quickly, and will remove your candlestick out of his place, except you repent.
Now, this right here, now this is the Messiah talking. This is written and read. It says, I will come unto you quickly and remove your candlestick out of his place, except you repent. Now, there's a doctrine that's taught on Sunday morning that says there's nothing that you can do to lose your salvation. This book says the exact opposite. If there's nothing you can do to lose the salvation, then you can do whatever you want to do. If you can do whatever you want to do, why are there any rules and regulations? See, the adversary of the devil is slick. See, he actually destroys with a smooth message of peace, which is the exact same thing that the prophet said. They say peace, and there is no peace. They're destroying you with false peace. Go ahead.
But this you have, that you hate the deed of the Nicolaitans, which I also hate.
They said God don't hate nobody. They said he loved everything. He just love everything. He just love. Even when you do wrong, he love you. He'll live. Don't be listening to them people. They teaching that bondage. That's what they teaching. God is love. Right. He said, I hate him. They said God don't hate nobody. What God you talking about? See, that need to be what the real question is. What God you talking about? Because my book say something different. And see, they'll try to tell you, well, see, that's the Old Testament you read. No. This is the last book in here. No. We can go to the last book and read where he said, I hate. And the Father and the Son go hand in hand. Go ahead.
He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches. To him that overcomes will I give to eat of the tree of life, which is in the midst of the paradise of Elohim.
Right. Understand something. It says, to him that overcomes will I give to eat of the tree of life. It is the tree of life that allows you to live forever. That's why the adversary of the devil didn't tempt us with that one. He tempted us with the tree of knowledge, not the tree of life. Because his whole thing was to cause us to die. See, understanding that he knows the word better than any of us. No matter how much study we do, we'll never know the word like the adversary. He was there. See, you got to labor and overcome to get to eat of the tree of life. It says, remove them from the midst of the tree of life, lest they eat it and live forever. So the adversary of the devil didn't even taunt us with that one. He said, look, if you eat this from this tree, you're going to be like God, knowing everything. He didn't even mention this other tree. So he even knew how to destroy us with that. When you deal with angel and what it means, written in the New Testament, angel is G32, which is messenger, and then by implication along that, the pastor or the leader, because of course the Spirit is then supposedly leading that pastor who then leads those people. So you understand when you read this, the angel of that church. So then when you get down to that, even if you read in the Old Testament, you still get the same thing. Angel in the Old Testament is H4397, which is malak, to dispatch as a deputy or messenger. So we still have that same thing. Revelations 2, let's start at verse 8.
And unto the angel of the church in Smyrna write,
Unto the angel of the church in Smyrna. So now we have once again that there are angels directing these churches in the path that they're supposed to go. So when you are talking to people that go to other congregations and you're saying one thing and they're saying something else, they got a different angel leading them. Their focus might not be. That doesn't mean that they're not authentic Hebrew Israelites. Just the angel that's leading them got a different focus than the angel that's leading you. Go ahead.
These things say the first and the last, which was dead and is alive. I know your works and tribulation and poverty, but you are rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Yehudis and are not, but are of the synagogue of Satan.
Right. The synagogue of Satan will invite you in there and tell you that they're a Jew and you a Gentile. If that ain't Satan, I don't know who is. They telling you that they you and you them. And they haven't gone through any of the things that's listed in Deuteronomy. And have no problem looking you right in your eyes and tell you, yeah, you're a Gentile. Excuse me? Who a Gentile? Twist that whole thing around like it's nothing. And our people are going to those congregations in droves because people are figuring out as they sit in Sunday church that something's not quite right. So the next step is they try to figure out, okay, Judaism must be the way to go because there's some holes in this. And you leave one oppressor to go and fall into another oppressor. So all you did was get a jail transfer. You got relocated from one jail to another. Thought you were going free. Go ahead.
Verse 10. Fear none of those things which you shall suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that you may be tried. And you shall have tribulation 10 days. Be you faithful unto death, and I'll give you a crown of life. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches. He that overcomes shall not be hurt of the second death.
He that overcomes shall not be hurt of the second death. So when you find that when you read in this book, it's 2 resurrections. So when people tell you that their loved ones in heaven, then your question should be, did they go in the first resurrection or the second? And watch that crazy look that come on their face. What are you talking about? Right, right. That doctrine don't make no sense. Let's go to Daniel chapter 10. See, that's some of that blended doctrine that we received when they started blending the word with some of the other gods that they had already worshipped. That's how we end up getting some of those things.
Daniel chapter 10 and verse 1. In the 3rd year of Cyrus, king of Persia, a thing was revealed unto Daniel, whose name was called Belteshazzar.
Right. His name is Daniel, but he was called Belteshazzar. This thing says it over and over, that the heathens will constantly change the name to glorify their God. And it even tells you his name was Belteshazzar after the name of my God. So I ask people, the name you got, is it after their God or after yours? See, Kunta Kinte was beat, so he would change his name to Toby because that Christian name established that he was being ruled over. See, your name is the first thing that denotes your culture. If you run up on the dude named Muhammad, you automatically know what he believes in. You automatically know he's a Muslim by his name. You have to ask yourself, what your name say about you? So what's your name, man? James Jingleheimer Schmidt. Right. Right. You into that paganism, man. Yeah. How you doing, Jingleheimer? Yeah. Right. Right. Go ahead.
And the thing was true. But the time appointed was long, and he understood the thing, and had understanding of the vision. In those days I, Daniel, was mourning 3 full weeks. I ate no pleasant bread, neither came flesh nor wine in my mouth, neither did I anoint myself at all, till 3 whole weeks were fulfilled.
But they say if you're going to be righteous, you can't drink no wine anyway. See, that's what the heathen say. But Yahweh said when you make those offerings, you got to bring flagons of wine. Not understanding that that wine help cleanse all that meat out of your system. See, so we trying to be righteous and dying in the process. Go ahead, bro.
And in the 24th day of the 1st month, as I was by the side of the great river, which is Hiddekel, then I lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with fine gold of Uphaz. His body also was like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass, and the voice of his words were like the voice of a multitude.
And this upsets people, and people always doing that, but having a problem with it. But when you start looking at the color of these things, you find out that this rosy white thing that we've been given for every image here does not fit what is written. And his feet like in color to polished brass. The same thing that we read in Revelation. Now, polished brass is not the gold looking brass that you see today. That would be what we call antique brass. Antique brass is dark brown. See? I ain't never seen no white man with black feet. That's something he need to go to the doctor. Something is seriously wrong with him. Now you see a white dude and he show up with black feet, you be like, good the muddy no. You need to call 911 immediately. That's something wrong. Go ahead, bro.
And I, Daniel, alone saw the vision. For the men that were with me saw not the vision, but a great quaking fell upon them, so that they fled to hide themselves. Therefore I was left alone and saw this great vision.
Right. I, Daniel, alone saw the vision. For the men that were with me saw not the vision, but a great quaking fell upon them, so they fled to hide themselves. When it comes down to Yahweh and righteousness, the wicked cannot stand in the place where righteousness is. They're going to take off running. Go ahead.
And there remained no strength in me. For my comeliness was turned in me into corruption, and I retained no strength. Yet heard I the voice of his words. And when I heard the voice of his words, then was I in a deep sleep on my face, and my face toward the ground. And, behold, an hand touched me, which set me upon my knees and upon the palms of my hands. And he said unto me, O Daniel, a man greatly beloved, understand the words that I speak unto you, and stand upright, for unto you am I now sent.
Messenger. Angel, messenger. Unto you I am sent. Because I got something to tell you. Go ahead.
And when he had spoken this word unto me, I stood trembling. Then said he unto me, Fear not, Daniel, for from the first day that you did set your heart to understand and to chasten yourself before your Elohim, your words were heard, and I am come for your words.
Right. From the first day that you started to pray, I was sent to you. Now, you notice one thing. The angel called him Daniel. The heathen called him Belteshazzar. See? That's why I ask people, what do people in the word call you? They call you Jingleheimer Schmidt. Go ahead.
Verse 13. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days.
So now we got an angel that was sent to Daniel, but now another angel, the prince of the kingdom of Persia, withstood him. See, this is why you have issues even from within congregations. You got one angel that's leading one congregation in one direction, another angel leading another congregation in another direction. Now we see even the foul ones have angels leading them. Read.
But, lo, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me.
So now a higher angel has to come and help him because he was not able to overcome the prince of Persia. So now we're talking about an angel leading kingdoms. Remember now it says there's a war that has to be fought in heaven, and Lucifer and his angels were then kicked out. So these evil angels are directing kingdoms. So when one of them false prophets stand up and say, I talked to God last night, he might have. One of them evil angels. One of them evil angels told him, go say this. And he said, God told me to tell. He might have. Because he got an evil angel that's telling him where he needed to be. Go ahead.
And I remained there with the kings of Persia. Now I am come to make you understand what shall befall your people in the latter days. for yet the vision is for many days. And when he had spoken such words unto me, I set my face toward the ground, and I became dumb. And behold, one like the similitude of the sons of men touched my lips. Then I opened my mouth, and spake, and said unto him that stood before me, O my master, by the vision my sorrows are turned upon me, and I have retained no strength. For how can the servant of this my master talk this with my master? For as for me, straightway there remained no strength in me, neither is there breath left in me.
You see the levels of rulership. For how can the servant of this my master talk with this my master? See, the angel is a servant of the master, and you dealing with the angel. See, people think they're going to deal directly with Yahweh. You can go ahead and get that out your head. It ain't going to happen. Some of us been working for companies for 20 years. You ain't never seen the CEO. You ain't never going to see the CEO. So just go ahead and get that out of your little baby brain now. See, people want to bypass the order and go straight to Yahweh. It's not going to happen. That's what he got people in charge for. Go ahead.
And then there came again and touched me one like the appearance of a man, and he strengthened me. And he said, O man greatly beloved, fear not. Peace be unto you. Be strong. Yes, be strong. And when he had spoken unto me, I was strengthened, and said, Let my master speak, for you have strengthened me. Then said he, Know you wherefore I come unto you? And now will I return to fight with the prince of Persia.
Now will I return to fight with the prince of Persia. Start thinking about those kingdoms and the Babylonian kingdom and which ones end up having rulership. You got Persia. What came after Persia? Keep reading.
And when I am gone forth, lo, the prince of Greece shall come.
Right. So now another evil angel finna come and put forth that kingdom into power. Now, the angel of Yahweh have to then fight them to keep them from completely killing you. See, that's the part that we don't see. We see all these natural things, but we don't see them angels fight. We don't see the angels directing you. Hey, boy, don't go that way. Girl, what you doing over there? You supposed to be over there. See, that's the part we don't see. Did you finish that up, brother?
Verse 21. But I will show you that which is noted in the scripture of truth, and there is none that holds with me in these things, but Michael your prince.
All right. And when we look in 2 Corinthians 11 and verse 14, it says, No marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. So when you understand those things, the adversary is directing his church leaders too. So they really believe in the things that they've been given. Because they got an evil angel that is giving it to them. Man, God talked to me last night. God told me such and such. Right. And anytime your God named God, I pretty much know you worship the adversary of the devil. Let's go to Exodus chapter 23. Because he told us from the beginning what his name was. So you talking to somebody who named name, I can pretty much tell you, yeah, you worshiping the devil. And they tell you his name is Hashem. Hashem means the name. So you mean tell me his name is the name? That's some twisted stuff right there. Yeah, you worship the devil. Exodus 23. And let's read verses 20 through 23. See, the adversary don't care what you call him, as long as you worship him. And he don't care how you worship him. Just don't worship Yahweh. He said, I will be just like the Most High. He don't care how he got to trick you. Exodus 23, and let's read verses 20 through 23.
Behold, I send an angel before you to keep you in the way and to bring you into the place which I have prepared.
So it was an angel then leading our people in the wilderness. See, a whole lot of stuff we think we doing. What we have to learn how to do is how not to tick off the angel that's leading us. That's what you're learning about righteousness. How not to get in his way. and how to take the direction that he's pushing you in. Go ahead.
Beware of him.
Now, this is the same one that Yahweh says, all right, I'm going to send you over here to be trained by this other priest for 40 years. I'm going to give you this staff. I'm going to give you some miracles. I'm going to tell you my name. And I want you to go over there and proclaim these plagues among Egypt and bring my people out. They then told him all these great things. Then he says this. Go ahead.
Beware of him and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him.
Right. See, we think we're dealing directly with Yahweh. He said, look, I'm telling you now, I'm going to send an angel. That angel going to lead you. But don't take him off. Because he not going to pardon your transgression. You get in his way, he going to kill you. Now, he says, my name is in him. So when he speaks, he says, thus saith Yahweh. This is why everybody think they're dealing directly with Yahweh. His name is in him. He speaks in the name of Yahweh. So we keep thinking that these people are dealing directly with Yahweh. You're dealing with the angel who speaks in the name of Yahweh. And Yahweh is warning him, do not provoke him. So this is not some new concept. We've been being led by the angel. And we've been warned from the beginning. Don't provoke the angel. How you provoke him? Causing him to not accomplish his goals. He's got to have the children of Israel. He's got to have that congregation that he's leading to perform certain duties and certain tasks. You go against those things, you then slow down the work of the Spirit, and that angel is not going to return to Yahweh with a failing report. What he going to do is get rid of you. That's what he going to do. He's not going to go back to Yahweh with an excuse. No, he's going to go back with a body count. All right, I got this done, but I had to kill Esaac. I had to kill him. Right now, I told him to go left. He kept going right. I had to kill him. But here go the rest of them. Angel don't care. Angel don't care nothing about you anyway. Yahweh is the only thing that's keeping that angel from killing you. He want to know why you even care about these fleshly people. They don't do nothing you say do anyway. Go ahead.
Verse 22. But if you shall indeed obey his voice.
Obey his voice.
And do all that I speak.
And do all that I speak. His voice I speak. See? Go ahead.
Then I will be an enemy unto your enemies, and an adversary unto your adversaries. For mine angel shall go before you, and bring you in unto the Amorites, and the Hittites, and the Perizzites, and the Canaanites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, and I will cut them off.
I will cut them off. My angel will go before you and do all of those things. Now go back to the thing we read in Joshua. It says, because you've done this curse, you have the cursed thing among you, I will no longer be with you. The angel like, I can't go with them. Now they have defiled their way. There is wickedness among them, and I can't go and fight a holy battle with cursed things. So they got to go take care of that business, and then we can go and finish this fight. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 10.
12:20.
1 Corinthians chapter 10, and we're going to read verses 1 through 11.
Verse 1. Moreover, brethren, I would not that you should be ignorant, how that all our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea.
Now, this is coming out and coming out of Egypt, and our people didn't even understand this next verse. Go ahead.
And were all baptized unto Moshe in the cloud and in the sea.
Right, because they had to get those past sins cleansed off of them. They didn't know that that was a baptism. They walked through dry. Yet you got some twisted people out here teaching, you don't get baptized, man. You get baptized by reading the word. See? That's how you get baptized. Don't nobody put me in no dirty water. You got dudes out there teaching that. Man, that's elementary baptism. This is being born again. It says, how can a man enter into the kingdom unless he be born again? How is a man born again? That was the question that the Pharisee asked. Who was it, Nicodemus? How can I be born again? Can a man enter into his mother's womb the second time and be born? He said, man, how you a master in Israel and you don't know these things? Why? Because it was already embedded in the scriptures. See? He said, man must be born of water and of spirit. So the children of Israel coming out of Egypt were cleansed of those things. They were born again and had no idea. They were born again physically, but mentally their mind couldn't leave Egypt. So they kept desiring the things of Egypt. They needed some physical gods. They had watched the people of Egypt prance around this bull and all of these things, this calf. They had watched them do all of those things. In the slight absence of Moshe, they had to have a physical image for them to worship. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And did all eat the same spiritual meat, and did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was the anointed one. But with many of them Elohim was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness. Now these things were our examples, to the intent we should not lust after evil things, as they also lusted.
Right. So Yahweh has already said, I'll give men's lives for you. There's certain things that Yahweh has given as an example. He will let certain things happen before us so that we understand not to do that. I mean, you see somebody and they mix some ammonia and Clorox and pass out, you know to yourself.
Note to self, don't do that. Got it.
Once you see that other dude pass out, you know, I'm not going to do that right there. And somebody got to pull him out the bathroom. Yeah. You know, Yahweh do the same thing. He let people enter this word, let them, and they look like they just shining examples of righteousness. And you be like, ooh, I like them. And then they do something stupid. And Yahweh show you the punishment of them. Note to self, I will not do that. Got it. Right. Go ahead.
Neither be you idolaters, as were some of them. As it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink, and rose up to play. Neither let us commit fornication, as some of them committed, and fell in one day 320,000.
And there is natural fornication, and there's spiritual fornication. And that spiritual fornication is all that keeping of those other so-called holidays, which is the worship of other gods. If Yahweh says, I'm married unto you, Israel, then when you take part into the services of other gods, you have fornicated against your husband. Adulterers are punished by death. Go ahead.
Neither let us tempt the Mashiach, as some of them also tempted, and were destroyed of serpents. Neither murmur you, as some of them also murmured, and were destroyed of the destroyer. Now all these things happened unto them for examples, and they are written for our admonishment, upon whom the ends of the world are come.
Right. So Yahweh has given you examples and have allowed you to see the things that have happened to other people so that you will understand not to do those things. But let us hear the conclusion of this matter. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 2. First Samuel chapter 2, and we're going to read verses 22 through 36. Now Eli was a priest, one of the head priests. So he's the one. Do understand, like we have gone through, when Yahweh comes, he comes for the head of that house, because the head of that house is the one that's supposed to be, basically, he's the one with the responsibility. When something goes wrong in the mail room, the CEO don't come trying to find which one of the mailmen delivered the stuff wrong. He come to the mail supervisor. He said, who in charge of the mail room? Oh, he the supervisor. Come in my office. You go find whoever that was that delivered a flat screen TV to the wrong house. And now they done kept the TV. You go find that person. He ain't gonna go and try to find that person. No. Bring the manager into my office. Same thing Yahweh said. Who the manager of 5842? Who the manager of that house right there? Him? Come here, boy. Come in my office. I need to talk to you. Something done happened on your watch. And I need you to take care of it. Go ahead.
1 Samuel chapter 2 and verse 22. Now Eli was very old, and heard all that his sons did unto all Israel, and how they lay with the women that assembled at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation.
Now, he knew that they were laying with the women at the door of the tabernacle. So they're hanging at the door so they can be the first one to holler at the sisters when they come in. Shabbat shalom, my sister. Right. Hey, brother want to be first to see it. I got dibs on the sister in the blue. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. All right. Go ahead.
And he said unto them, why do you such things? For I hear of your evil dealings by all this people.
I hear of your evil dealings by all the people, but he ain't removed them from the door. See, that's what we want to do. We want to verbally talk about, don't do that. Stop it. That's all you going to do. Yahweh got you the head of a house. You see things ain't going right in it, and you just going to, just glaze across it. Right. Yahweh going to glaze across you. Go ahead.
No, my sons, for it is no good report that I hear. You make Yahweh's people to transgress. If one man sin against another, the judge shall judge him. But if a man sin against Yahweh, who shall entreat for him? Notwithstanding, they hearkened not unto the voice of their father, because Yahweh would slay them.
Now, he says, this is where it always gets interesting. In verse 24, you make Yahweh's people to transgress. See, all of us have sinned and come short of the glory that Yahweh has expected for us. There's not one of us that haven't sinned. But when your stuff starts causing problems to other people, you're on your way to a butt whooping that you have not imagined. That's what really gets us into trouble. Our own personal stuff, you read this book, our fathers have always got into something. But when your stuff start going outside of you and start causing other people some problems, you about to get yourself into some serious trouble. Go ahead.
And the child Samuel grew on and was in favor both with Yahweh and also with men.
Right. So Yahweh is dealing with Eli. The next leader is Samuel. And he is a child, and Yahweh gonna make him train his replacement. Go ahead.
And there came a man of Elohim unto Eli, and said unto him, Thus said Yahweh, Did I plainly appear unto the house of your father when they were in Egypt in Pharaoh's house?
Right. And did a man came unto Eli. See, the angel looked like regular people. Didn't nobody fly unto him. A regular man came unto him and said, did I not play? And let me tell you something. And somebody started talking about the whole setup of how you became a priest out of the blue. A man just walk up and start speaking like he Yahweh. Remember, he says that the angel, my name is in him. Listen how the man spoke. Did I plainly appear unto the house of your father when they were in Egypt in Pharaoh's house? This how this conversation start. You trying to figure out? This can't be a good conversation. Go ahead.
And did I choose him out of all the tribes of Israel to be my priest, to offer upon mine altar, to burn incense, to wear an ephod before me?
Right. And did I choose? Now, this is a regular dude standing before you talking about, did I choose? Talking about the altar like it's his. Then you know he's speaking in the name of Yahweh. Go ahead.
And did I give unto the house of your father all the offerings made by fire of the children of Israel?
I gave you all the offerings. Those offerings were to take care of you and your house. I gave you the substance of Israel. Go ahead.
Wherefore kick you at my sacrifice and at mine offering?
You are kicking at my sacrifice and offering by how you dealt with it. Go ahead.
Which I have commanded in my habitation, and honors to your sons above me, to make yourselves fat with the chiefest of all offerings of Israel, my people.
Right. See, you honor your sons above Israel when you decided not to discipline them for their actions. See, Yahweh says, I'm a very jealous Elohim. See, and you have already chosen something over me when you decided not to discipline them for their deeds. And see, people will read this and get confused because because Eli says, it's not a good thing that I hear, my sons, you make the people to transgress, blah, 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 blah. He didn't remove them. See, all that talk ain't nothing but talk. See, Yahweh expect action, especially from those that are head of the house. Go ahead.
Wherefore Yahweh Elohim of Israel says, I said indeed that your house and the house of your father should walk before me forever. But now Yahweh says, be it far from me. For them that honor me I will honor, and they that despise me shall be lightly esteemed.
I will honor them that honor me. And you have not honored me because you have allowed them to do these things, which have then caused other people to transgress. See? Because all you got to do is once something start going, once they see two brothers hanging at the door, talking to all the women that come, two more brothers going to come. What sisters we got in here today? Next thing you know, it's 10 brothers at the door. Oh, man, I can't wait till the sisters got in now. Right, they ain't even coming here to work. And Eli let it happen by not dealing with them. See, this is how we justify wickedness. We're going to say something in private. See, that conversation, he said, nay, my sons, what do you do? No. He's supposed to do it in public. Get everybody in there. Hey, all y'all hollering at the sisters at the door, I'm going to put you out of here. That would have stopped that mess. Then all the rest of the people would have known. Hey, man, you probably shouldn't talk to them sisters at the door, man. That dude crazy, that dude at the front. Right. Go ahead.
Verse 31. Behold, the days come that I will cut off your arm and the arm of your father's house, that there shall not be an old man in your house.
So now because he honored his sons above Yahweh, now Yahweh gonna kill them all off. See, that what you think you're doing in protecting evil? You're actually causing evil to spread further in the body, which will then destroy everything inside the body. So the things that we think that we're doing to help it, you're making it worse. Because in justifying the wickedness, you're causing other people to be trampled by that wickedness, by trying to cover it with that untempered mortar. We're going to cover up these holes so other people don't see it. Right. You're causing other people to now get done in by that wickedness. Go ahead.
You know, even with that, where he says, I'm going to cut off your arm. Now you got to find another family in that tribe to do your lot in the sanctuary.
Well, you know what? He was already making him train the next person who finna take his spot. See, that's how Yahweh, by the time Yahweh done said something to you, boy, he already in the midst of it. Boy, he got you going, you don't even know it. He's talking, say. Yeah, that dude you training, that's who finna sit right there. When you get into this and you think you irreplaceable, you got some problem. The day I don't do what Yahweh lead me to do, it'll be another dude. You come over here, Shabbat Shalom. You be like, who that dude? Yeah, Suck didn't do what he was supposed to do, and Yahweh dropped him off down the street. What? Right. Yahweh don't play the radio, Jack. I tell people, you want to play with something, you better find something else, because Yahweh not it. Go ahead.
You know, just to touch one more thing, and you also look at changing of jobs, because his dad lot was lighting the incense.
Who's that?
Samuel.
I don't know that part. Now you got me on that
Wasn't that what he was doing, lighting incense when the angel showed up?
I don't think that's that one.
Okay. All right.
I think you talking about you know I'm bad with names. But I know what you're talking about. I don't think that's him. But go ahead.
Verse 32. And you shall see an enemy in my habitation, in all the wealth which Elohim shall give Israel. And there shall not be an old man in your house forever.
There shall not be an old man in your house forever. So now in trying to protect two, you have now destroyed everything. See? That's what we think we're doing. I'm going to hide this little wickedness. Right. What you do is you hide that little bit of cancer, and that cancer just grows and spread all over the whole body. So while you think you hiding it, you've just let it spread, that now it has completely enveloped the whole body, and there's nothing left but death. Go ahead.
And the man of Ur, whom I shall not cut off from mine altar, shall be to consume your eyes, and to grieve your heart, and all the increase of your house shall die in the flower of your age. And this shall be a sign unto you, that shall come upon your two sons,
the one you were trying to protect,
on Hophni and Phinehas. In one day they shall die, both of them.
In one day they both gonna die. The very ones that you were trying to protect by not dealing with their evil, they're going to die in the same day. When had you chastised them and dealt with them, maybe they'd still be alive. See? Well, we think we helping somebody. God not angry with you. He love you. Right. Go ahead.
And I'll raise me up a faithful priest.
Right. I'm going to raise me up a faithful priest that's going to say the stuff that I need to be said. That's going to do the stuff that need to be done. Instead of worrying about everybody's feelings. Go ahead.
That shall do according to that which is in mine heart and in my mind. Now build him a sure house, and he shall walk before mine anointed forever. And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left in your house shall come and crouch to him for a piece of silver and a morsel of bread, and shall say, Put me, I pray you, into one of the priest's office, that I may eat a piece of bread.
Right. So in trying to cover up this wickedness, he has caused damnation to all of his family, even going down his lineage. There are others that are going to be born into these problems. So let us consider these things, because Yahweh has surely said that he's going to separate the sheep from the goats. And when you look into all of the wickedness that they do, even within this Masonic setup, which all the churches are built upon that same setup, when you look within that little 5-point star of their wicked setup, and they got it on the Masonic lodge. If you look in the front of some of them, they'll have that 5-point star. That's where you also find the goat head sitting in the middle. Their whole thing in the Masonic thing, their entry is they have a ritual that's called riding the goat. The goat symbolizes the evil who will not worship Yahweh. He sets the sheep, the obedient ones, on one hand and the goats on the other. You think it's a coincidence that the evil have chosen the symbol of the goat? And all their churches are built within the dictates of the goat. The Baphomet sign is the goat leader. He has the goat head and the rest of the twisted thing, because he got male and female genitalia. So the goat is he's pretty interesting, that goat. But this is the symbol of their leadership. This is why the churches are built in the buildings, that their very buildings show what they worship, and we have no idea. See, the leadership know what they're doing. The people don't know. There are a lot of good-hearted people that are stuck in there trying to worship their Creator, and they are stuck worshiping paganism and have no idea. So let us consider these things, because Yahweh has called us out of gross darkness into his glorious light. But with that, there is also some responsibility that he has charged us with, because he has caused us to come out of that gross darkness. That's all that we're going to do for today. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.